This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This your boy Black Megas. Hey, it's a green screen. You don't see my shitty background anymore. Reason I'm doing this video green screen is because I wanted to do a kind of revisit my PlayStation 4 review. Since I did that review, I've actually acquired a 4K TV. So now I am able to talk about all the full features of PlayStation 4. Now, you're seeing the PlayStation 4 desktop in the background, but know that this isn't a 4K shot. And I'll explain. Well, it is and it isn't. Technically, I'll explain why. So, first of all, as you can see, I've went through a few games that are either enhanced or that's not enhanced because that's not a game. It was free, but that are even have been enhanced by or run smoother with PlayStation 4 Pro. And when you have a 4K TV, that whole all that shit just pops. It pops very well. Even with all the settings not turned on, older games like Battlefield 4 is ridiculous. Battlefield 1 is scary as hell to play. Although I will say this, since getting it on the PS4 Pro with everything, all the bells and whistles on, I've noticed I've had some motion sickness with that game. I've had slight motion sickness in some occasions with Destiny, but with Battlefield 1, I'm completely to the point where I need to take a break because my eyes are just like, oh my god, what is going on here? But it looks great. It runs smooth. It runs fantastic. Rise of Tomb Raider, gorgeous game. Hell, Uncharted 4, and of course, Horizon Zero Dawn. Good lord, that game was beautiful even on a regular PS4. Now on a PS4 Pro, it's fucking ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous. Mass Effect Andromeda looks great. Both Uncharted's look great. It's definitely if you can afford this setup. This is always my caveat when it comes to talking about this stuff. If you can afford to get a 4K TV and a PS4 Pro, you're probably looking at for the right setup about $900 to $1,000. The reason why I say that is because I have a Samsung series, a 7 series 4K TV. It's 49 inches. It also has HDR in it, and that's the thing. You want to get a TV with HDR. You're not gonna get a TV under $500. I don't think that's a good enough quality that has HDR. You can find some of those off brands and things like that that say they have HDR and stuff like that, but Samsung is a very reputable company, especially when it comes to TV, and they do have HDR. They do have HDR settings, so you can take advantage of that if you choose. And I will be talking about the TV in another review, but you have to make sure you have HDR. If you don't have HDR10 enabled TV, you can't. And this is a HDR Pro TV, so that it works. It'll recognize the HDR in it. Now, here is the thing, and I hate doing this because I feel like I shouldn't, but I have to speak to the content creators as well as just the general consumer. And the thing is, as a content creator, slow your horses. Don't get all excited thinking I'm gonna get this PS4 Pro, I'm gonna get this this 4K TV, and I'm gonna make all this 4K content. No. Here's the thing. Most capture cards that are prevalent on the market don't capture 4K. The couple that do is very raw, and I've heard people have had a lot of checkerboarding on their screen, just lag in their gameplay and their recordings and things like that. Voice lag has been prevalent amongst a few of these devices, and the files are raw, so they're not compressed video files, so you're going to be taking up a lot of hard drive space. For an hour of footage, you probably would take up God, probably 20 gigs of 4K content for an hour. So think about that. Also, HDR can't be enabled through the older standard capture device. Like I have the HD Pro, the Elgato HD Pro. I cannot capture anything in HDR on this TV because that device wasn't built to pass through HDR. So therefore, I have to, if I want to play games in HDR, I actually have a interesting setup. I have two HDMI ports that I use for my PlayStation 4. One, of course, to do the recording, things like that, and then the other is so that I can play games in 4K with HDR enabled on it. Like I've tried Assassin's Creed with the HDR enabled. Wow, that game! Like honestly, that game is gorgeous. The sunsets, and I've taken pictures and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to work those in so you guys can see like the pictures of like the just the landscape. It's ridiculous. It's really really ridiculous how good that game looks in 4K. And I'm looking forward to playing God of War in 4K. Holy shit, I know that's going to be wild. But yeah, but you also want to make sure this when you do make this upgrade, this big leap to 4K, make sure you get the proper cables because not all cables will let HDR go through. You want to at least get HDMI 2.0. I went and bought a separate cable for the pass through for HDR, so my PlayStation 4 can recognize it. This is what I bought. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's pretty small, but it's called a Tevon Deluxe HDMI cable. It's kind of got like a mesh kind of material to it. It's 6 feet cable. Cost me $15, I think. Somewhere between 12 and $15. I gotta remember to put the link in the description for that. But it does carry, it has the requirements to carry a HDR 4K signal. So, you can just get one of those and you're set. Just make sure that when you do get ready to do the HDR and 4K, check your TV settings. I know with Samsung you have to go into your general settings and activate each port for 4K. So make sure that your port is activated for 4K too. That's another thing that you need to recognize and understand when it comes to playing games in 4K on the PlayStation 4. Make sure that whatever port that you're going to dedicate to your gaming system, like I have the third port dedicated for just 4K gaming. So I have that activated and turned on to accept the 4K signal and use all the bells and whistles and things like that, HDR and stuff like that. But with my first one, of course, I don't, because if I want to record stuff like this, I can't utilize that stuff. And this is very well, but I'll go into that in more detail in the TV review because that was an interesting thing to go through, figuring out and discovering. But yeah, no, games in 4K are just like, I really, really wish I can give you like a really good idea of the quality, and all of a sudden my neighbor's car alarm went off, so that's unique. But yeah, I really wish I could give you a better description of the quality, because this is going to go up on YouTube. It's not going to be in 4K. Nothing I have is in 4K, so that's why I didn't really start a game up or anything like that, so you could see. But things move so much better. It's really, 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 really worth it if you could afford it, but only if you could afford it. Don't go out and think you need this to make yourself a better gamer or anything like that. It's just, I happen to have the money from my taxes and stuff like that, and I squared away my bills, and I saw this TV was on sale, and I was like, you know what, I can't work myself to death just to get nothing out of life except for a game or two there. Like, let's just upgrade my TV. I deserve the TV. So I got the TV, and now I can definitely tell you from, it is really, really good to play games in 4K. Even with the bells and whistles off and stuff like that, the screen quality still is much better. Plus, PlayStation has enabled Super Sample mode for all older games so that it automatically kicks in. But another thing about that is you can't record with that Super Sample mode, because you have to enable the HDCP. I believe, at least from my experience, it seems like it only kicks in when the HDCP is off. I may have missed something, but if anybody knows for sure, correct me. Please correct me. But yeah, Super Sample mode helps make things sharper. Again, Battlefield 4, it looks very, very crisp, clean. Definitely. So yeah, as someone who's not a big advocate of like getting all these things and pushing these technologies like before their time, because there's some things about 4K that really shouldn't be around. Really shouldn't be around. But definitely, if you can get the money together, I'll put the links in the description of the couple of 4K HD TVs, because there's another one. Sony has a series. I think it's the 850 series. That's about $150 more than this, but will be it's pretty decent price range, I think. Anything I link probably won't be over the 700 mark, because I don't think that unless you're a huge visual person and you just have that type of money, I don't really think you need to get beyond what is now considered mid-range TVs like mine. If you're just going to be gaming on it, you're not going to be throwing like a lot of movie parties and things like that. Even then, these are comparable TVs. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try to put some links in the description so you guys can see the like price ranges and things like that. So if you're thinking about getting that PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X, because I'm pretty sure that you're gonna get a similar debate going on about that. Like, is it worth it? And if it's anything like or better than PlayStation 4 Pro on 4K, again, you got the money, get that. Definitely get it. So, all right, I think I've covered everything. So, as always, you guys, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.